What is the good word, everybody? This is your man's the one, joined by, you already know, Big Storm. And this is the State of Basketball, a BW Sports One original podcast. And we talk basketball all day. Now, we are brought to you by Rockstar Realty. If you're looking to sell or buy a new home, check out my man Shawn Nugent over at Rockstar Realty, 317-503-8322. And if you're trying to get your body in that elite performance shape, make sure you check out our good friend Zach over at Elite Performance, 765-499-1005. And if you're trying to get that latest design that you've been working on to put all over your body, that inked up design, check out my good man Todd Revved Up Durham over at Revved Up Tattoos, 317-537-2667, and they'll get you all inked up, ready to go for the late part of the summer. And if you're on the south side of Indy, you know, somewhere around 7960 US 31, make sure you stop into BaumBurgers, formerly known as Steak and Shake. Check them out for some good family food. And if you are looking for a opioid-free pain regimen, check out our good friends over at Turp House Clear, Brandon Mallow Lambert. You might know him from bare knuckle fighting. If you use the promo code BW Sports One, you'll get 20% off on the website turphouseclear.com. And last but not least, Rogue Energy, rogueenergy.com. If you go to them and check out a BW Sports One promo code, you also get a discount from those guys as well. What is going on, Big Storm?
What's going on, my man? Couple things for me this week. A couple things for me. Couple things for me this week. I did end up with the summertime. I gave up the beard because it takes forever to grow, and the financial to sustain it. I ended up started going back to the barber, but had to cut that short. Went back to the goatee, so I'm rocking that. Also, new addition to the Mormon clan. So my cousin Dion Mormon had his first son. He had a masculine child. The name is Carter Drake Mormon. So another addition. This comes from the Christopher Lee Mormon side of the Mormon clan. And also, I might have one for you next week. I got to verify it, but you might hear another addition coming as well to the Mormon clan. So we don't die. The Mormons multiply, and it's majority males in the Mormon family, majority males. Like I got 2 boys and 1 girl. So
I got 2 boys and 1 girl. I was pretty fortunate. I was pretty fortunate. You know, I mean, some people got all girls,
right?
And that's okay.
I feel for them.
That's okay.
I feel for them because I just got 1 and I'm struggling.
I'm struggling. That is awesome.
I'm just waiting to beat a boy up, messing with my daughter. Just waiting.
I love it. Just waiting. Come on, I'm ready. Come see me. No, man, it's 4th of July Day. I'm pretty sure they were wondering if we were going to actually do a show today. But we are going to do a show. It'll be short and sweet. There's a lot going on outside of the NBA that's probably going to take more than just one session to really talk about, especially when you're talking about the NCAA and the NIL with the that going on. So something that we don't want to go. I know it's a holiday, so we don't want to keep you guys too long. So some of our things going on today's show. Let's see. First off, let's go with the NCAA. What I got here real quick, Reggie Theus. I know you remember Reggie Theus, point guard.
I do. I do.
I think 76ers maybe.
Yeah. No, the Nets as well. The Nets. I mean, he may have played with the 76ers, but I know he played for the Nets because I have his basketball card from the Hoops edition, 89-90.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, he is expected to he's been expected to be named the athletic director and men's head basketball coach for the University of Bethune-Cookman or Bethune-Cookman University. It's a HBCU. So that's pretty cool. I'm thinking he's getting a shot. He's been on benches, shit, man, forever, right?
Yeah.
He's been a sidekick coach forever.
And I really like this trend of NBA coaches going to predominantly Black universities or Division IIs or Division IIIs. Like, I like that influx of the players going back because I feel like that, for one, it will lift those programs. And then two, that will give them that exposure. So hopefully they'll be able to make it to, I'm sure their long-term goal is to make it to the NBA.
That is the long-term goal. I mean, I hope they all make it. You know, I mean, I think it proves that, you know, that you don't always have to go to the Power Five. You know what I mean? Right. You'll get an opportunity. If you're good enough, they'll find you. I mean, how many guys in the league that is, I mean, top 50 or all-stars that didn't play in the Power Five? So don't get set aside or just playing for those schools. You are able to make your end game. You know, if you're good enough, they'll find you, period. Yeah. That's what I tell my daughter all the time. If you're good enough, they will find you. Let's see. That was that. Let's hop over to what we got news for the WNBA. Other than the Fever winning the game the other night.
Yes, I saw. I almost text you.
Out there.
I almost text you. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I almost thought it was a typo. But at least they're willing to do.
Yeah, no, I was sitting down. I was sitting downstairs. I was sitting downstairs. I forgot what day it was. I think it was 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? 2 days ago.
2 days.
I was sitting downstairs and I saw like, ooh, they're up 2 at halftime. I'm like, oh, nice. Okay.
That's something.
And I'm like,
new.
well, it's the Fever. Don't do what the Fever do. Right. So and then I come back and I'm like, oh, the Fever won. Well, hell.
What do we do now?
I was pretty excited about that. Looks like we got a frozen storm. Nope, back.
I said we don't even know what we were supposed to do. Hello?
He's choppy, folks. So as soon as we clear him out, as soon as we get him to there he is. Nope.
All right.
There he goes.
I almost didn't even know what to do because they won.
All right, so we're gonna let this thing keep rolling. Yeah, you're like stupid choppy, my guy. All right, looks like you're moving a little better down. All right, so yes, WNBA won. But the reason why we jumped to the WNBA, Maya Moore, you remember her?
I do.
Hooper, I mean, just like in the peak of her career of winning championships, like a something, she decided to hang him up or put it on pause because she, you know, had a cause that she was really into and she wanted to see it through. And for her efforts, looks like she is to receive the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the ESPYs this year.
Yeah. So she definitely went out on a limb. I believe it was a gentleman that was incarcerated falsely or something with the charges, and then ended up marrying him. So she definitely was in it for real and in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And definitely glad because unfortunately it happens way too often that people are wrongly charged for whatever type of crime. And it's just fortunate for this young man that he was able to have that support and was able to have justice finally ring true for him.
I think the really cool thing that I like about it, besides the fact that, It was something that she was passionate about enough to give up her career. She could have played this year. I mean, it was all said and done. She could have played this year, but she thinks that the social justice side of it is bigger than basketball. I mean, I guess it's easier to do, when you've already won 4 championships. You know what I'm saying? But
it's easier to make that
her.
decision.
I mean, yeah, easier to make the decision when you already got getting chips. So, like
multiple chips.
Multiple chips. So you can, I can take that. I mean, I'm going to be there regardless. But so kudos to her. This year, the 20 ESPYs, you'll see her receive that award. So let's jump over before we hit some NBA news. Let's hear from somebody else, but I can't get rid of the damn thing.
Just hit the button, working. Man. Just hit the button.
There he goes. I'm losing, bro. I'm losing.
It's all right. You got some pre-made tacos on the way.
It's all right. Like I've hit the button. Hey, yeah, I do. But I really tried to hit the commercial, bro, and it's like not working.
It did. It was running on my side.
We'll come back to that, baby.
It was running.
So let's move on. It's like my signal is stupid. Week, is it me?
It's not me this time. Because now you're froze.
What, the commercial? Yeah. Now I'm frozen. All right, I'm back. Back. I hope you got the commercial because I did not.
I saw the commercial.
Well, moving on. Maybe that's good. Maybe I'm having some technical difficulties, but we'll get past it.
That's all right. You want to talk about your new surroundings? You want to talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk about my new surroundings because it's not done. If you see the difference in the background, it's because I've moved into the office and / studio, so I have not transferred the equipment and got it all set up. It's going to be more of a lounge area instead of I'm sitting at a desk in front of some screens. So we're going to hook it up a little bit. All right, so let's go to some NBA real quick before we get into the playoffs. Carmelo Anthony wins the first ever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award. I got on here. Finally, somebody wins something other than LeBron.
Well, I mean, we can't hate on the fact that LeBron does what he does. Like, yes, finally someone else is stepping up, but let's not take away the fact that he has stepped up and he has done what he's done. So just because he does it and he gets recognized more probably than anyone else doesn't take away from the fact that he does go out here and do these things. So I'm not going to talk too bad about LeBron. But I am happy that Carmelo was able to win this award, the first ever. I'm glad to see that Bill Russell finally
no hate towards LeBron. We just like to see somebody else.
Right. There are more than LeBron out here doing things. But LeBron might be a little better at promoting the things that he does.
That I will say, he does have a better self-promotion. The one thing I liked about it with Carmelo, apparently his father was a social activist as well. So it kind of just ran in the bloodline and it went right with him. So I'm all good for it. Way to go, Melo. So we are next up. We are looking at Mr. Scottie Pippen. Have you been keeping up with what Scottie has been up to the last few weeks?
Yeah, and what I've gathered from all this is Scotty's got a book coming out, and Scotty's gonna do whatever it takes to keep his name out here so he can get these books sold. And that's what I came to. I feel like some of it is true. Like I feel like obviously he knows that Jordan wouldn't have won without him, and he wouldn't have won without Jordan. But the whole fact where he still leaves that little crack of the door, Bron might be better than Jordan. That is where that's the gray area. That's the area where I'm like, do you really have some resentment because you were the number two? And I mean, he was probably the best number two in the league. Do you know a better number two than Scottie Pippen, defensively and offensively?
Not yet.
Yeah. So
not yet.
But I don't know if he, had those dreams of being that number one. We saw that manifest itself, and it didn't work out too well. And didn't want to go in because the shot wasn't his, and they still won anyway, and all that type deal. But also with Phil Jackson being racist. I mean, I don't know. I don't know Phil Jackson, so he knows him. He's, has an opinion. I do know the thing that kind of rubbed me a little the wrong way is when he was talking about LeBron and his thugs or entourage or gang or whatever it was that he said. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That could be some bias maybe, because why couldn't it be his business partners? Because that's what they are, and they're making a lot of money. So if they're thugs or whatever, they're the most intelligent, making things happen, entourage thugs that I've seen.
I just don't see LeBron being the type of person that was hanging around some thugs pretty well. I just don't see that. You know what I mean? I mean, the dude is so worried about his image. You know what I mean? Right. There's no way he's going to be around some people like that. Now, I would guarantee it. A lot of them are probably business partners. A lot of them are probably, useless business partners. But, sometimes you got that dude. Right. You got that guy. You know what I mean? A couple guys that, you know what I mean? If you don't keep them around, they're not going to be in good situations, but they really don't belong in this world. But I'm going to give them something to do in this world. You know what I mean? Type shit.
Right.
Scotty, bro. Hey, man. Yeah, I'm with you on that. He's got a book coming up. He's been talking about it. Phil Jackson, the racist, not really sure, but he does ride a Harley in the Sturgis. But then again, Jenny Buss was his main squeeze for a long time. And, she is fond of the Negro. So that's a really hard one because
it might not always be racism as much as bias. Like you just, and also it could be poor rich. I mean, there's a lot of dynamics these days on. It doesn't necessarily always have to be about race. I feel like a lot of times nowadays it's about poor and rich versus black and white. But, it's just my thoughts.
I'm with you. And I mean, it's the first time we heard it from anybody. So it's that really
says
hard
something in itself.
Yeah.
That says, and he's been in the league, like he plays. So he's been in the league like since what, the 70s?
Yeah, because he was on that Knicks team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around a while. So that's not some new shit.
We would have heard it.
As much as shit's coming out now from everybody, I'm sure we'd have found out about that.
Or even since Scotty said it. Because have you heard anybody else speak up after Scotty said it?
No, it's like Scotty's getting walked through the mud, bro. I just like Durant. I mean, if you know Durant, you don't come at Durant on social media because he's coming for everybody. And I think you trolled him just right. I'm going to show you shots of me shooting jump shots with Kukoc's jersey on. Fabulous. All right. Moving on, coaching switches or new coaches so far. We got Kidd in Dallas, Billups in Portland, and I don't want to mess up this man's, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Ima Udaka. That's probably
Okay.
wrong. The new coach for Boston.
Yeah, Udoka is probably the one I know the least about, so we will see. But Billups in Portland, interested. Obviously, they're trying to keep Dame because Dame's in his prime and it's not really working out for him in Portland. So if they don't make some changes, they could lose him. Same thing with Dallas. They trying to keep Luka. These teams are trying to keep these superstars. And hopefully Jason Kidd, and to look back on, I'm not even quite sure what to think of Jason Kidd as far as a coach. If you go back in his history, it wasn't like he was a shining star. He definitely had his moments, but I'm definitely interested to see what he's learned since his stop in Milwaukee. And I like Luka and Kidd together. I feel like, at least on paper.
Yeah, the point guard mentality should work out well. But didn't Kidd take New Jersey to the finals?
I think he did, but if you look at his overall record, I want to say he may be a little under 500. He had that moment.
I thought he was
He
over
had that
500.
moment.
Yeah, he had a
that
moment. I don't
moment,
know.
but we'll need to look that up.
You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now just for shits and giggles because I have no idea. But I think it'll be good for him. You know what I mean? For at least for Luka. And then it looks like Jason Kidd is surrounding himself with good people, everybody on that championship team. So who knows, man? Overall. Does you're gonna make me look this up like all the way, aren't you? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't have time. We can do that later. I'll just answer Billups. I like it, but I don't know if that's going to be enough
keep
Dame because Dame is being, entertained by some very powerful people throughout the league. Yeah, so I don't know.
It's interesting. It's just a good storyline. It's a good
storyline there with us. Real quick, let's. There you go. I was gonna hit it over. I almost did. All right.
You
but we can recap
me,
anyway.
I wasn't froze. You were froze.
Oh, hey, I believe it because everything was spinning. And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was. I'm gonna tell you, I know exactly what it is because I switched browsers. Next time I'm going back to my old browser. I switched browser because I was trying to see, what StreamYard was talking about, but they tripping on me and I don't like it.
Well,
so
it works well for me.
we're not even going to we're not even going. Hey, I know it's like I can't even get it to stop. You know what? We're not even gonna play the game. Let's go jump right into the NBA finals and then we can get on what we do. I'll make the adjustments next week. I love all your sponsors, but we're on and off. It's holiday.
All right.
All right. So yep.
Finals, Phoenix, Milwaukee. One thing about Milwaukee that they did just one game and they were so successful and then they didn't do it again. They reimagined what the big center can do in an NBA game. And I know the style is different, but I love seeing Brook Lopez in the post, dropping that 40 or what was it, 33 piece. I love seeing that. I would love for them to do it again. If you remember, Brook Lopez was one of the best post centers at a time when he was back in Brooklyn and I believe Boston. Maybe did he start his career in Boston? Like he was straight up post,
might have been Boston,
straight up giving it to you, and then he went to the shooting threes. But it was nice as a post player myself to see him go back to them roots and be successful. Only for them not to do it in the next game. They still won. Happy for him, but I would love to see some good old fashioned post play. As far as
I
Phoenix,
like
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I like the post play from Lopez. I like how he mixed in the new style big man with shooting the jump shot and hitting the three and mixing it in with some of the old school back to your bucket jump hooks. I haven't seen that many jump hooks consecutively in the paint, probably since the last time my daughter them play. So I'm really excited to see that, with them, with Milwaukee, to see that type of inside play. I like the fact that Chris Middleton is doing it. Like, we was all on him during the regular season, and you're a guy who is about the playoffs. That's what you're about. And like, Bill, hey, really, Middleton's doing more than Giannis is to me, personally. Yeah, I think he's the guy.
Yeah, well, it's just because he can score in a variety of ways. Plus, his free throws out the gate. That is the issue with Giannis. His free throws with him. It's in his head. I feel like to a certain extent, maybe not all the way, it kind of affected the rest of his game, worrying about free throws. We saw that with Ben Simmons passing instead of making that dunk. But Middleton, I was down on him, and I had a right to be honest. He ain't showed me anything. So I had a right to feel the way I felt about Middleton. Like, he was just he was just someone there that was able to collect that check. But I definitely am surprised, and we'll see how far this goes. Well, he seems to be a second half sniper. So we'll see if this continues and if this gets with his being able to be encouraged to do this on a more regular basis.
Yeah, I agree. The other guys, I don't want to say Middleton is an other guy right now. I think he is a solid, Robin or a Superman, Batman type deal. With Giannis, I think he's figuring out how easily he can score, being a 3-level scorer. He can get to the rim, he can hit the mid-range consistently and outstandingly, and he can shoot the three. He's got the step back. I think he does it now. I think he understands it. Plus, he came in the league as a defensive guy. So he's your guy, so to speak, that you can put on the stopper. I don't know how it's going to correlate when they go up against Phoenix. Phoenix, as well as Paul George played, and I've been on Paul, but if you got to look at it, he played the most minutes in the playoffs, scored the most points before he was put out in the playoffs, most assists, second in rebounds. He did everything that you can ask of a person to do. It just wasn't enough.
Well, that goes back to that clutch gene, because it goes back to them free throws, man. He did all that. Paul George is great. I've always said that. When you're able to have that blowout win, he'll be a huge part of that blowout win. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, that's where pressure hits. And unfortunately for him, it busts pipes. Yes, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have got there. But at the same time, we talking about free throws, dog. Free throws.
Yeah, we talking about free throws. Really, there was only one game in that series that was a true blowout. But most of those games were close, and I think his play helped him. Maybe Kawhi. The one thing I didn't like about it was his statements afterwards. But yeah, you can also say that athletes say things and with emotions at the end. But nobody will hear the excuses. Well, if Kawhi was, if Kawhi was healthy, we'd have moved on. So you just diminish everything that you and Reggie Jackson tried to accomplish. The team that y'all played against was better team, way more healthier than you were at the time, better team play, better team coached, in certain situations. But that's what I don't want to hear. That's the one thing I can't say about LeBron. LeBron has never come out and said, well, we'd have got past, or we'd have did this, or maybe this if something else would have happened. No, Bron says, hey, I lost, I'm going to come back and do something else. Every time Paul loses, well, it's if we'd have done this, or if he'd have played, come on, man. Anybody can say if somebody would have played, we'd have got past.
But is he keeping it real at the same time? Like, he might have handled it wrong, but was he lying?
Me personally, no. I don't. I think if Kawhi plays, yes, they move on.
So
I do.
maybe we
No
just
matter
don't
what,
like the
how play
way
good Phoenix played,
the
he
map. Maybe
displayed it.
then
Yes.
maybe it's just the way that he keeps it 100 that we're not accustomed to. Because LeBron could have easily said without Kyrie against Golden State, they'd have won. And would he been lying? I don't know. I don't know about that one. But I know for sure if Kawhi would have played and Paul would have played the same way he played, then yes, I felt like they would have moved on.
All right, but I'm super excited about this series. I think it's going to be great. I think the matchup is going to be Devin Booker's offense versus Devin Booker's defense. Who are you going to hide him on? You're not going. I mean, you're going to put him on Middleton, or are you going to put him on Holiday? So where do you hide Devin Booker's weakness? And it's a small weakness in this man's game because they're all not there. But vice versa, I think that Milwaukee has better perimeter defenders that might be able to give him a little physical trouble, because you can see that he had issues with the Clippers backcourt being physical with him. And I think you're not going to get any different from the backcourt in Milwaukee.
I feel like Devin Booker is adequate defensively. I'm not saying he's a specialist. He's not going to make no first team all defensive teams, but he's adequate. I feel like Phoenix is destined. I love everybody but one player. I think that's pretty well documented. And I just feel like they would have gotten this far without him. I feel like people put too much on Chris Paul's effect on that team. I also feel like they played the Lakers with no AD. I feel like they played Denver with no Jamal Murray. And I feel like they played the Lakers or the Clippers with no Kawhi. So little things like that. Now, would they have won anyway? Who's to say? But I'm not going to take away the fact that they had a pretty decent ride to the finals. And I don't think a certain player had so much to do because they won without him and lost with him.
And one with him. But I mean, I don't know why I've already said my piece on it. I mean, I've said it before. I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan, but the effect that he has on the team is obvious.
It's not as
okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, that's that. I think this will be a really good series. I actually think Chris Paul has the edge on the experience and the level of mentality that he can bring to the game. But I think it all comes down to if Giannis plays or not. If Giannis plays, I don't think, with Middleton playing the way he is right now, I don't think that they have the force to keep Giannis from doing what Giannis wants to do. But I think it all comes down to that knee.
I'm interested to see Ayton because I feel like he is finding himself in these playoffs, and I love to see what he'll do. I feel like he'll be a factor. I definitely feel like Booker will be a factor. I feel like the point guard coming off the bench to showed out when Paul was gone. What's his name?
Payne.
I'm interested to see, and we'll see what happens because none of the superstars that are on these teams have never made it to a finals. So I'm interested to see how they handle the pressure of that because none of them has been here of the superstars. Might be some rogue,
right.
Others. There might be a couple others that have been to the finals, but none of the superstars. So I'm interested to see how they handle that pressure.
All right. Looks like we got a comment here. Put it up. Hey, do you pick Jordan as the number one NBA player of all time? If so, would you like to go on my podcast show to show your facts if Michael Jordan is the number one guy then? Well, the universe galaxy. My response to that is I would love to come on your show and talk about how no one is the greatest player ever in the game of basketball. For one, it's a team sport, and you can't take individuals out of eras and put them against somebody else that they've never played against. It's impossible to do that. You can manipulate the stats, you can manipulate the games won, all that type of stuff for your favor to create somebody who you think is the greatest. Now, if you break it down to say who was the greatest effect, who had the greatest effect on the NBA, you could say Michael Jordan because of the wide world exposure that he brought to the game. You could say who was the greatest scorer. You could say who was the best rebounder. You can do things like that, but you can't come across and say somebody is the greatest player. Michael Jordan, out of his own mouth, said, I can't call myself the greatest player because I never played against Wilt. I never played against Bill Russell, things like that. So that's my response to that person's question. I think they jumped off now.
I feel like the greatest player really overall. I feel like I mean, it's my opinion. It's definitely something each person has their own opinion on. Now, this player was no means my favorite player, but I can't take it away from Cap, man. He changed rules. He scored the most. He's got 5
36,000 points.
He created a shot that no one can touch. It's hard to say he's not the best. I get it. You got Big O averaging trip dubs. You got Russell with all the rings. I get all that, but I feel like Cap would have gave it to all of them, no matter what the error, because of the shot that he created.
I mean, and that goes to the back with this super team theory. The super team ain't a new theory. You know what I mean? Bill Russell won all the championships because he had a super team.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Magic won all his championships because he had a super team. No matter how you assemble it. Go ahead.
It's not only super teams. He had Hall of Famers. So we're not just talking about super team. We're talking about Hall of Famers on your squad. A squad full of Hall of Famers. What do you think's about to happen?
Like the whole team. The whole team.
Coach
the whole team and the coach is in the Hall of Fame.
And mess around, have the announcer in there.
The bench players is in the Hall of Fame. Might as well, shit. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fun series to watch. I don't have a winner because I don't really care who wins. I'll be excited for both. First time Phoenix winning ever. First time they've been in the finals since '93. First time Milwaukee's been in the finals since '74. The first time they win since '71. So it's still going to be a really fun series to watch.
Wasn't Cap on that team?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Before he went to LA, he just wins wherever he goes. Hey, but before we jump out of here, this just came across my news feed, son. This is breaking news. ESPN's Rachel Nichols caught on video and audio scheming against Black co-worker Maria Taylor.
I feel like that happens anyway, because especially the jobs that they have is kind of cutthroat. Everyone wants to keep their position that they have or reaching for a position. So these are just my preliminary thoughts of just hearing it. I feel like it's nothing new. Because boys want their spot. And when you're at the top, just like Brian, when you're at the top, boys is coming for you. So you have to do whatever it takes to keep your spot. And I feel like that's what Rachel probably did. So that's what I got on that.
Whew. It's hot because, it came out. She was wanting $8 million. She wanted Stephen A money. Rachel ain't making Stephen A money. Maria wanted Stephen A money. And then so negotiations didn't fell through. And now you hear this story come out. I haven't read into it. It just popped across, but it seemed like she schemed a little bit, talked to LeBron, and has some questions of how do you maneuver around certain type of things. And the moral of the story is never get caught on videotape or audio talking about some shady shit.
Yeah. And before we get
The
up off
Olympic,
these finals, I just want to say it is refreshing to see new teams, to see young talent coming of age. I really like that. It's nice not to see the Curry and LeBron saga continue, or KD and LeBron saga. It's a nice break to see these new teams and learn about the future and what's actually coming.
Yes, I love the new team. I love that we was going to have somebody different. I think either any of the teams, it was going to be somebody different that we haven't had in a long time or had never had before. So yeah, it's extremely exciting to see this type of basketball. And I'm probably I'm going to watch all 7 games anyway, but I'm definitely going to. I just said it's 7 games. I would have watched it anyway, and I'm gonna make sure that I watch it this time because it's going to be great. You get to see players that you don't see in the finals. We're tired of seeing the same, 8 faces. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to enjoy it. And let's see. Right before we cut out, then we got one more. So the Olympics are about to begin. Who will fade the 4 international teams? That will be the hardest for the United States to win in basketball.
So which one of the 4 will be the hardest? Am I taking that right?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Probably the one with the most NBA players on it.
I kind of like Slovenia because that is where Luka's on. So I'm looking at that. Lithuanian has the homegrown kid, Sabonis. I'm not too read up on
Sabonis.
Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like Michigan, Wagner is on the Germany squad and scored 28, 7 of 11. Yeah, these other cats, I don't know. Unfortunately, they're not good enough for me to know them right now.
I don't feel that there's going to be a South American team. I don't feel that. I don't feel that there's going to be a South American team that's going to be able to compete with the United States on the hardwood. When you go to the European teams, I do like Serbia. Serbia looks pretty good. Luka, they look pretty good. And I do like Sabonis. With Germany, I think they're going to struggle a little bit because Schroeder's not playing, and it's only going to be Wagner. I don't know if Lil Wagner's playing or not, but I know Big Wagner's playing. So
yeah, it didn't say that Lil Vog was playing, Big Vog playing.
Right. So I don't know about that. France, really not too much worried about France. I know they have Rudy Gobert, but without Tony Parker, who is it? Gobert and what's new? Nick Batum. Yeah, so I'm really not too keen on France. I think if there's any chances, I don't know. I don't know if he's even playing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be one of the Eastern Europe teams that has a chance, but then also going to think it's going to come down to the one that has the most NBA talent on it. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
well, I'm
there you have it.
Eager to watch. Eager to watch.
Yeah. So there you have it. Storm, you got anything for the Eye of the Storm?
Yeah, Eye of the Storm. I'm just going to say one phrase, and I know you'll know where I'm going once you hear it. Yes, and it counts. Marv Alvis' last game was last night, and shout out. And I know through the years he had his, issues, growing pains, whatever. But I grew up on Marv Albers and his calls, and definitely wish him a great retirement. Sorry to see him go, but his voice will live in forever as far as NBA goes, as far as I'm concerned. Also,
from way downtown.
Also want to give thoughts and prayers to the families in Miami for that condo. Very sad situation. So Big Storm's thinking of you guys and giving you thoughts and prayers.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. What I got for the one thought, I'm gonna stick with today. Today is Independence Day for our country. I know a lot of people aren't very happy with our country. If it's racial divide, if it's woman divide, if it's the LTB community, whatever it is, a lot of people aren't happy with our country right now. But at the end of the day, this is your country. And when you put on those American flags, you can challenge anything you want within our country, whatever event you do. But when you represent our country, then that is bigger than what is inside. When that flag is on your chest and you are playing and you're fighting for your country, show your country the respect. Once you're inside the country and you're having your activism, that's fine. Do what you do. But at the end of the day, you're not going to go live anywhere else. You're not going to have it better anywhere else. So happy Independence Day, 4th of July, America. Get some of it. Home of the brave. You come here. I mean, if it's so bad, if it's that damn bad, why is everybody still trying to fight to swim across oceans, to go across gunfire and threatening of your families to get to a better life? That's all I got to say. Enjoy your holiday. The one is all American, period.
Big Storm is all about making
it.
America better.
Nope.
There's nothing wrong with that. We've come a long way. We got a long way to go. It's just kind of like your family, right? Like if you got a brother or a sister, y'all can talk about each other. But if someone from the outside talks about them, then it's on. So it's kind of like that.
It's on and popping.
Yeah, I'm the only one that.
That's how I feel.
USA, not y'all.
Yeah. So when you step outside those boundaries, that's what because they treat you like you was USA. So fuck it.
Right.
If you go do something about it, come do something about it. But that's it. That's all I got, bro.
Enjoy the fireworks.
Enjoy your holiday, everybody. 4th of July. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Be safe. Don't lose a finger. And
make sure you check out all things BW Sport. Make sure you check out all things that's happenings, bwsports.com. And we out.
Hit the button.
I did. I tried. It's still going. I hit it like a long time ago. It'll stop eventually.
Make sure you don't blow off.
Still recording. I'm not going to. No.